So 2 Corinthians 6:14-18 says, "Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? What harmony is there between Christ and Belial? Or what does a believer have in common with an unbeliever? What agreement is there between the temple of God and idols? For we are the temple of the living God, as God has said, I will live with them and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they will be my people. Therefore come out from them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you, and I will be a father to you, and you will be my sons and daughters, says the Lord Almighty." So in other words, this clearly tells us that we should not be equally yoked with unbelievers. Like, it's one thing for us to be sharing the gospel with unbelievers, but to be living as if we're not saved and, blending in with unbelievers, that's not something that we should be doing. Like, unbelievers should be able to see the light in us so that it can help them find the light. So let's get back to this story time. So basically, like I said, when I first came to God, I had a childhood friend who I was really close with. And when I gave my life to God, I realized that I had to let go of that friendship, because that was a friendship that, I had when I was in the world. So I knew, God was telling me that it was time to, cut the ties, because, when you come to God, there's a lot of things that you have to let go of. Like, you cannot stay the same. Like, it's one thing to come to God as you are, but it's another thing that you're supposed to change over time. So, in other words, okay, one day my friend, she reached out to me, and, I explained to her how I gave my life to God, and how some things, things change, and that I can't, be friends with her anymore. But I tried to explain it to her in a nice way about it. At first, she kind of, took it as, okay, I understand you trying to get your life right with God. So she kind of got it. But at some point, it's like she didn't understand it, because it's like, when you really, really surrender things to God, people will see that change in you. So she noticed that, I no longer had the desire for sin. Like, and I had a heart and a desire, to please God and to live right.